far into that one. Now we're going to go north of the border to one of our favorite topics on this show, which is the new Edmonton team name. So I had a really interesting article pulled up from last week from the Edmonton Journal that recapped the name submission period that the team was having. People could submit whatever name they wanted. Apparently, some people submitted Escargot to be the new team name. Oh, it's a true story.
The Edmonton Escargot.
Yep.
I know it's French-Canadian, but we gotta go with... Hold on. Could you imagine the face of the franchise be a running back, and your team is the Edmonton Escargot? Great, I'm a running back. Head of the Snails. Wonderful. Ironic. But like I said, these names are just getting crazy. I understand you don't want to duplicate some in many instances, but come on now.
Yeah. Of course, with that, some of these are going to be jokes, and I imagine this was probably one of them. But anyways, let's get to
I hope it's a joke.
Let's get to the leaderboard, the top 10 names that were chosen. I guess these are the most common ones that were suggested in the 13,000 plus fan votes. Number 1 is the Eagles, which seems to be our favorite name submitted so far.
Eagles or Golden Eagles? Which one is it?
Well, they just say Eagles, and that might be a little bit more likely.
Fair enough.
Number 2 was the Energy. Sounds like it would be the name of a minor league hockey team. I'll pass.
I mean, not only that, but when you have, ironically, the Edmonton Oilers, and then your football team is the Energy. Come on, really?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm a footballer, the Edmonton Energy. Hi. There's no intimidation there.
That's
just
correct.
Doesn't have that toughness, doesn't have that ring.
Yep, and then number 3, you have the Elk or Elks. I'm not a fan of that one.
I heard that they hated the Elks because it didn't sound... same thing, it didn't have that toughness. It's like, when you think of elk, you think of something that might be hidden in your car driving home from the highway. They said that was a hard pass.
Yeah,
at least
it would
from
be.
what I read in a CFL news article.
Right, would be for me too. Granted, elk are a little bit bigger than deer and a little bit tougher, but still, people go hunting these things. Well, granted, people hunt bears and whatnot too, but I get it. Bears are more intimidating than elk, so...
Then why don't you just make it, this is Canada, right? This is Edmonton, right? If you're going to go there, why not the Edmonton Moose? And it's funny I say that because I said if I were to ever create a hockey team, it would be the Moose. Because, come on, a Canadian hockey team, Moose, thought I had a good ring.
It kind of does, but it ruins the EE design for the team, so I don't know if that's going to roll. Anyways, the next one was Edmonton Elite. This is terrible.
Yeah, it sounds bougie. It sounds like there's a diva on the team. It looks like everything needs to be sparkly. Hard pass.
Yeah, like they should have bedazzled uniforms or something.
What, their wife did it for them while they were scrapbooking?
Exactly. Next up was the Empire. Empire, I know it's trademarked by the club. I mean, I think it's acceptable. But, yeah, it wouldn't be my first choice.
Well, my only thought is the evil Empire. I get that. That's actually a nickname for the New York Yankees, believe it or not.
Yep.
My initial thought is if Eskimo is offensive, we're going to replace that with Empire. That sounds like the people, it's just like, you know what, we stripped the land from these Eskimos and now we're calling it the Empire. Star Wars reference or not, it's just a bad concept.
I agree with that, which is why I wouldn't adopt it if I were running the team, but I'm not.
Let's
Next
not
up,
Jared Jones this thing, shall we?
yeah. Let's not bring Jerry Jones into this one. This is a community-owned team, but I digress. Next name on the list was the Edge. Really? Is this team sponsored by Ford?
Edge? Edge of what? Are they all going to be clean-shaven? What, Edge because it's supposed to be sponsor-friendly to the razor blade company that supports the uniforms? Like, Edge.
Precisely.
That's vague.
Oh, it's going to get
Very
more
vague.
vague later, trust me. Next,
I'm debating if I should pour myself a drink, but go on.
okay. Next up, we got Express. What are we ripping off the Memphis team from the AAF? Get that out of here.
So, is there a lot of trains in Edmonton?
You know, I've never been to the city, but you know,
Is there like a Edmonton Railroad?
well, there might be. I know that the
There's
Canadian
the
Rockies
Edmonton
has
Railway
a
Museum.
Canadian Rockies does have a famous train that goes through it, but I don't know if it gets that far north. But anyways, I still just
Wait.
don't like it.
Hold on, you're gonna love this. There's the Alberta Railway Museum, and sure enough, there's this camel green and gold front of the train. It is in Edmonton. I think maybe that's where it came from. I mean, I still think it sounds terrible, but it's actually kind of catchy. I mean, really, the Edmonton Express. That sounds like just a bad promotion. Pass.
Agreed.
I get it. You could involve in like the side piece, a sponsorship, an attraction, something. But to have it that team name, I don't know.
Yeah. Like you said earlier, there's nothing intimidating about it, really.
All aboard, we're tanking.
I'm not sure teams really tank in the CFL, but yeah, we'll move on to the next one. Edmonton Extreme.
Extreme what? Like I'm gonna tell my teammate to get the tables?
I just think this would be the name of like a snowboarding outfit or something like that. Have a group of snowboarders.
Who named that one? A kid named Kyle drinking Monster Energy drink before he gets on a snowboard? Come on. You're killing me.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, number 9. This one's actually not too bad, I thought. Explorers.
Okay. My only thought is that if you're going to go with Explorers, you got to come up with a great design. He can't look like he can't look like he's going in the jungle with a machete in his hand. That doesn't make sense. And if we're going to go, they want to stay away from anything Eskimo related, but it'd be kind of hard to because you need a solid logo.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, are you going to make like a green and gold magnifying glass?
I was thinking if they did that, it would be more of like the Lewis and Clark sort of aesthetic, but it doesn't roll off the tongue as well.
No way.
And then number 10 was Evolution.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's just so vague, I don't know what else to do with it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I get that if you want to, like, I mean, it sounds like a title of a book or a movie or something. A model of a car, of course. But when you put it as a name and a symbol, you just don't know how does that roll. But I remember seeing a couple others. I mean, others that just didn't make sense. Do you remember hearing the eels?
Yeah, I've heard that one.
Where are there eels in Edmonton? Where are eels in 2 feet of snow?
Precisely.
Though, you know what I remember hearing a story about? Different sport, but did you know Major League Baseball had, I think it was called the Federal League?
No, I don't remember that.
You, what happened? This is early 1900s, but they actually had the Chicago Whales.
Huh. How about that?
So, granted, the team didn't only the Federal League only lasted for like 2 or 3 years. Then the players were sold off to other clubs. But if you think about it, right? Where is the closest whale from Chicago? Give or take, east or west, 1,500 plus miles, right?
Yeah, just about.
So isn't this one of those where it just didn't make sense?
Yeah, it really didn't.
Ironically, it's the logo is a red sea with a blue whale in the center of it. It
How
looks
about
like the
that?
Chicago Cub uniforms before they were a thing, but I think the Cubs were around by then.
Right. Well, anyways, there were a few others this article mentioned. Kind of on the same vein, Edmonton Elephants.
Where's the nearest elephant?
Precisely. I actually thought of that too, but it seems like a joke that would get really old really quickly.
Who's
Also
the
threw
mascot?
out.
A big fat man in gray body paint?
Well, then again, think about the University of Alabama. They have a dude in an elephant costume. They're called the Crimson Tide. So why can't this work?
Don't even get me started on the Crimson Tide. There's certain things I can't say on this show that I would really like to say about the Crimson Tide, as well as all the bandwagon college football fans.
Right. Well, here's another one thrown out for Edmonton, the Extraterrestrials.
You know how many people are going to misspell that?
Everybody.
Including myself. Oh, the pain.
Yep. And then later on they mentioned the Escape, the Excursion. Basically, if it's an SUV manufactured by Ford, it's being considered for this team name.
Isn't Ford being made in Canada? I know GM made a lot of it, but wait, Ford staying in America? Now, if it was Chevy, I get it, but Ford, or what? Are they trying to recruit them?
Okay, that last part was a joke, but anyways, yeah.
You're absolutely right. It sounds like they're trying to recruit Ford to make their cars over there.
I guess it was just because there was Explorer and Edge, so that's where that joke came from. But
well, you're absolutely right.
But yeah, that's where we're at with this. So yeah, there's some wacky names. But I mean, I think again the consensus are that if you're going to stick with the double E, that Eagles is the way to go. But it's always good to know that fans will submit things that will make us laugh. That we can always be assured.
At least we hope it's that and not something just over the top. Though, here it is. Now, this is the caption to an article back in July. Edmonton CFL team name changes. Here are 20 non-racist name ideas. Do I dare go through this?
Go ahead.
Okay. They said Empire, which we already know what's happened there. The Edmonton Earls.
Okay, then.
Let's see. It says here in the description, where better next step for a team distancing itself from a racist name than idolize a restaurant built around dishes like butter chicken and Mackie rolls from other cultures. Okay, that's already a no. The Edmonton Mall Rats. No. Edmonton Whales.
Okay, then.
Edmonton Aliens. Edmonton Huskies. They said Elks. Remember we were saying Ford SUVs?
Yeah.
We got a Chevy one. They said the Edmonton Equinox.
Wow, I'd forgotten about that.
Edmonton River Valley. Edmonton Rough Riders. What?
Okay, I'll tell you the joke behind that one. So there was a point in time, the old Ottawa franchise was called the Rough Riders, but Rough Riders was 2 words. But then you have the Saskatchewan Rough Riders, which is 1 word. So yeah, you'd literally have games where the Rough Riders would be playing the Rough Riders. For the announcers, that must have been awful.
That's got to be awful. Like, especially if you're listening to radio. Mess. Let's see. Edmonton Readers. Energy. Edmonton Eco Warriors. Edmonton Solar Panels. I can't even read this last one. Edmonton was this epidemiologists something. Basically, doctors fighting COVID-19. Edmonton Silver Balls. Edmonton, let's see. Equestrians. It says people like horses, right? Edmonton Glaciers. Edmonton Feet Draggers. And a bonus, Footy McBallface. That was satire.
All the same, the satirical one was better than some of the others.
Do I have to go on the Ford and Chevy lineups and see if we could come up with names here? I mean, every time we've talked CFL, this has been the most hysterical conversation out of all of it.
Yeah, that it definitely can be.